Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the day two of AIS's annual Information Security Summit. We are moving towards the afternoon of the session, and we have in line with one of the very lucrative session on the theme of EDR or XDR. What is the best for security buyer? Wherein we will be discussing some of the insight about the what is XDR, what are the different components of XDR, and also we'll be taking up like what does the XDR replace in the SOC, and also deep diving on what actually the security buyer should be buying as compared with that different technology available in the market like EDR or XDR. With this, we have an electric line of speakers. Please welcome Mr. Sanil Nandkarni, CISO, Baiju Future School. Welcome, Mr. Sen.
Hi.
Please welcome Mr. Ambrish Kumar Singh, CISO, Godrej Envoy.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Welcome, Mr. Ambrish. Now,
Thank
please
you.
welcome Mr. Iftikhar Hussain, Senior Technology Solution Lead for Cyber Defense in Asia, Microsoft.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Mr. Iftikhar. So, all the audience, so just a note here that Dr. Sriram would going to moderate this particular session and he would be joining within few minutes. So, I would request, like, let's start with the Mr. Iftikhar, like, if you can just give your introduction on the introductory view on this particular theme or the title, like EDR or XDR.
Sure. Thanks, Jan. So first of all, yeah, thank you so much for joining again, this afternoon and giving us this opportunity to speak. And of course, for all of you, I really hope that this session is going to give you some glimpse of how the industry is growing and this confusion of all about EDR versus XDR. My name is Iftikhar Hussain. I'm a part of a team here in Microsoft called Global Black Belts. We focus on some of the niche cyber defense solutions for some of our largest enterprise customers across Asia. So I lead, with some of those work with some of those customers on their security strategy, making sure that their technical pain points and their security vectors are fully covered, and with Microsoft Consulting and Microsoft products and services. Now, about the topic, this is a great topic because I get this question a lot from all of our customers that based on our existing security journey, where do we land, and what are some of the capabilities that we need to acquire next to be more proactive as well as more resilience towards the modern threats. And a lot of times, the EDR comes onto the table. A lot of times, XDR comes onto the table, and there's always customers who are kind of confused between these terminologies that when to use what and when to acquire which particular solution depending upon their SOC maturity. So today we're going to focus on some of these aspects, and we'll talk about a little bit in terms of depending upon where you are in your SOC journey, you may have to acquire some of these solutions, and then making sure that you have a larger vision of achieving XDR. Now, I've seen from the industry trend perspective, most of our customers who are especially playing in the enterprise have already moved away from the traditional anti-malware solution, especially for their endpoints. I think that has become a kind of a traditional nowadays just to have an antivirus. I don't think that there would be any organizations today who don't have an anti-malware solution. Of course, since every organizations have anti-malware solutions, attackers or adversaries also have access to the same anti-malware solution as well. And it is easier for them to test their malware, their craft against these anti-malware solutions to and find various ways to evade detection. And that is where the solutions like EDR and XDR comes onto the table, because it goes beyond the traditional anti-malware based definition based detections and so on. So yeah, I really hope this is going to be good discussion to learn from our esteemed panelists as well, and of course, give you some of my thoughts and perspective on what I see in the industry. Back to you, Ishan.
Thanks, Mr. Iftikhar. I may request Mr. Ambrish to share some introductory view on that theme.
Sure, thanks, Aditya. Uh, as Mr. Aptika said, uh, security world is ever evolving. So the threats are evolving, threat landscape is changing, and that's so on different technologies. We started around 20 years back. We used to have IDS, IPS. Then we got into the next generation firewall. Then the EDR came in to change the entire world, and then XDR, and then something else will come. Okay, it's all depend upon the need of the organization. which sector are you in, what are your security threat landscape, how the particular technology is fitting into your ecosystem, and whether you have the entire thing like people, process, technology are fitting into that ecosystem. The technology can be great, but if you do not have skills and processes to make best out of it, it will fail. So, and selection between EDR and XDR is totally depend upon what maturity curve you are in the organization. If you talk about NIST cybersecurity framework, it's talked about 5 stages: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. So at what stage, what kind of technology you have deployed, and how this is going to fit in, it's all depend upon the organization ecosystem and where are you in the cybersecurity journey. However, if you look at independent view, EDR is just like it giving you what you wanted. Security will always wanted something like EDR for the endpoint. The same thing the XDR will provide for the entire ecosystem, because your ecosystem, your infra is not only endpoint, it's the cloud, it's the IoT world, it's the applications you have on the cloud, etc., containers, etc. That will give you the single plane of you see what is happening. And that's why people say in the if you have generation SOAR, people say light SOAR is XDR kind of thing, but SOAR is very costly and it's very tedious to develop, integrate, maintain, etc. That is my initial thoughts. We'll discuss in detail in time to come.
Thanks, Ambrish. May I request Mr. Sanin?
Hey, hi. Yeah.
So your interactive view on the theme.
Are you able to hear me? Are you able
Yes,
to hear
Mr.
me?
Sanin.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Hi. Hi, guys. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I think what Iftikhar and Amrish said, I think I completely agree. So I'm just going to copy C and copy B, right? So it's absolutely right. So I think it depends upon where you are in your journey, right? And the kind of organization you are, and the scale at which your business operates, right? And the security maturity curve is predominantly important as to what you choose, because I think the tech would change and your business nuances would change, right? The nature of the business itself is changing, right? And the tech is sort of touching each aspects of it, and so will security be. But what's important for me when I look at is, for me, outcome is more important, right, than the tech itself. Whether it is being able to meet the business objective and the security objective for the organization, right? That is extremely important. Um, and for a large part, right, most organizations are grappling with the talent pool also, right? So more and more dependency on the vendors and solutions are more important, and automation is important. Therefore we rally around the next tech, which obviously is important, but I think value proposition is, Ishan, very important for the organization. Yeah. Thank you.
Got it, got it. We have a very first round of questions, like what does XDR mean to you and what is not? Maybe Mr. Iftikhar, you can your views on this.
Sure. I think my views resonates, with the industry view, and I think all of our panelists probably would agree. The Traditionally we have seen how threat detection solutions have come into play, where they protect you from a single threat vector. And we talk about threat vector. There are multiple threat vectors. The threats which are coming from emails in the way, I mean, by the means of somebody sending you malicious attachments or phishing attempts. There are threats coming directly to your endpoints, which are luring users to click on a URL and getting them to a website and then compromising the endpoint. There are attacks directly happening on the identities, where people are doing brute force attacks against your cloud identity on Azure AD or AWS or Google Suite accounts. And then there are attacks directly happening on your applications and services, like your web servers hosted on public cloud or on your on-premises, or your public cloud applications and services, which are public SaaS offerings, and so on. Now, traditionally, we have been tasked to protect all these vectors together and ensuring that we don't miss out on anything, and also have a view of what's happening in which threat vector, and making sure that they all have a integrated view. If there are any multi-stage attacks happening, then we should be able to correlate, what's happening on email with what's happening on endpoints. Now, apparently, having different solutions in 3, in 4, and 5 different places, having their own consoles, having a different SOC teams looking at endpoints, different SOC teams looking at identities and email and so on, that loses that whole context of having this correlation, and that is where the XDR comes into picture. The whole point of XDR is going beyond an individual threat vector and have a view and a visibility of what's happening into your entire digital estate. Now, you may not get there on day one. That's absolutely sure. Absolutely sure. It's a journey. However, the intent here is to get as much visibility as you can and just go beyond just looking everything in isolation. What you think is happening in isolation may be a low fidelity incident, or maybe a one odd incident which may or may not have any relations with what's happening in elsewhere, maybe 2 days down the line or 5 days down the line or even 1 month down the line. However, it may have some other incidents or events that might be happening in your organization that you don't even have any visibility of. And if you compare them together, or if you correlate them together, you might find it to be a little bit more anomalous than what you look at it at this point of time. So if you have teams who are currently only managing endpoint security, and there are teams who are only managing email security, and they don't talk to each other, they come in their own shifts and go and find in uh, finding their own uh, war, and then making sure that they win in that war by simply investigating a single incident on an endpoint, investigating a single incident on an email threat layer, and then don't have a view of that these two incidents are basically correlated and they are in the middle of a multi-stage attacks. XDR, when it comes to play, basically bridges that gap. So when humans are not interacting with each other because there are limitations, they are of course different teams. As you grow in size, your teams also grows. There are time issues as well. People works in different shifts. People work across different geographies and so on. And that is where the XDR bridges them, and it brings onto the table to be able to correlate events to events, incidents to incidents, and give you a holistic view of if there are any multi-stage attacks that comes onto the table, and give you a way to prioritize them in a better way. Make sure that, and also making sure that your non-commodity attacks are, and you also gives you a glimpse of where they are in the whole attack kill chain, and allows you to make sure, prioritize the way, how close they are on making an impact. If they are an initial vector, if they are just have done, let's say, an initial compromise, and they are still on the left side of the kill chain, which means that you still have time to confine them, and the sooner you can confine them, you can reduce a major impact. But if they are more on the right side of the kill chain, which means that they are more closer to making an impact because they have already reached your high value assets, that visibility can only come from an XDR by doing correlations of various things happening in your organization. And that is where the XDR comes out of the picture. Now, XDR is not just detection. Of course, there are a lot of other tools which can also provide you detection. There has to be a native capability of doing remediation as well, involving less human intervention. We have humans, we have our human intelligence. I think that should be preserved for more critical tasks and critical investigations, rather than doing commodity stuff and trivial tasks. And that should have been taken care by the system itself, without having to use the precious human skills for commodity stuff. And that is where the XDR comes into picture. The XDR bridges that gap, brings everybody together, helps you detect multi-stage attacks, and also remediate some of those attacks on its own without you having to write playbooks and manage those playbooks and so on. So those are some of my initial views of what I see at XDR as a platform, and I hope we can get to see some other perspectives as well. Back to you, Sean.
Over to you, Mr. Ambrish.
Sure, I think it's covered a lot of stuff. It's my view. See, we started the journey of having logging monitoring with a SOC, and SIM has been in space for many years now. And SOC has its own limitation. Like there's a manual intervention, it detects, it correlates, and that it give you alert, and somebody has to take action. Second thing, it takes time to mature a SOC, and there was always a wish from the CISO or the security world that can we have technology which can auto remediate most of the things. That is where the SOAR came into play. And while doing the SOAR, lot of people realize that it is a very time taking, costly, a bunch of other integration issues in the SIM solution. That is where the XDR came into play, and XDR is solving this all these rudimental problems which a traditional SOC has. That's why people say XDR is a probably light soap. Okay, it gives the single pane of glass, entire ecosystem, entire infra, what is happening. It correlates, detects, and thereafter it remediates. It got auto remediation facilities. But again, what is the ultimate aim, as Sanil was talking about, what is the ultimate aim of this entire technology is that have a faster incident response. You are early into the game if something is going wrong. Okay, to do that, even if you are able to do something, you need to have very strong IR process around it, incident response process that has to be practiced. You should have a cyber drill conducted on regular interval so that you know who is supposed to do what action is supposed to be taken by whom, and this is practice, this is rehearsed, and it is updated time and again, rather than what we have seen people draft a very nicely crafted IR process. They will never update, they never practice, and when things go wrong they start blaming each other. That is where the entire thing will fall flat. So in my view, I think technology, XDR technology is great. It's still maturing. A lot of people are adopting. A lot of people have adopted to EDR. They are happy. They are having the combination of EDR and SOC. A lot of people have got very matured SOC. Again, as I said before, it's all depend upon where you are in the journey of your entire cybersecurity roadmap, and where this technology will fit into to solve your problems. What kind of problem you are facing, what kind of business you are in. Like suppose you are in manufacturing, you are going for a lot of IoT world, whether this is going to solve the problem or not. Because every XDR, even if choosing XDR technology itself is a challenge, we need to have a what kind of technology it is, what kind of API integration it could have, what kind of threat intelligence this has, whether this company which is providing this particular technology has strong AI and ML capabilities which is built in the past, or it is just bolting onto his traditional old age technology which he has, because everyone is building now XDR. So these are the thoughts. Probably I can add what Iftikhar says. Thank you.
Hello. Yes, hello.
Dr.
Thank you, really, Ambarish. Yes, I've just joined in the middle, so of course I'll go with the flow. And I think you've been having a discussion, Ambarish, Sanil, and Iftikhar. So does anyone else need to comment before I move on to the next one? Hello. Yeah. So
I think Sanil,
I mean, basically.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, I just a quick thought, right? I think what Iftikhar said is right, and what Amrish, I mean, I echo both of gentlemen's view. I think one of the key issue is that the large organization face is, visibility of alerts, right? I mean, we do not get visibility across all the line of products that we have, right? So if we have like 10, 20, 30, 40 products, orchestrating and giving them one view is extremely important, right? And then, I mean, as the organization evolves, right, their business objective changes, and we are using the latest tech, like we are cloud native using DevSecOps, CDCI pipelines, and incorporating security on those lines. So there is on one side there are huge tech teams, and then there's a business objective, web-based applications, so on and so forth. So orchestrating all of them, stitching all the security at various level together becomes imperative for all of us, right? So these tech will definitely help, but I often go with very clear thing that uh, for us, I mean, it's X DR, tomorrow it'll be Y and then Z, right? So that will continue to go. But for us, I think as a professional, I go by what my business demands and live with that objective and outcome. So that's what my 2 cents are. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, good points. I mean, XDR does take indicators of behavior concept from EDR, but of course widens the scope to the distributed IT environment. Okay, integrations with email, productivity suites, the network data, cloud infrastructure, and everything. So along these lines, I mean, if you are in a journey to decide between EDR, XDR, How would you embrace it? And of course, on the way to SOAR, which is the larger, all comprehensive solution that everybody is aiming for. And of course, there are a few solutions in the market, but how would you put it in this context? At one end of the spectrum, you have EDR, and the other end of the spectrum, you probably have an aspirational thing of SOAR. Okay. And then you have the foundational CM, which is there. And how would you, position this if you are in the security journey to decide where you should be? And which one
So
would you take up? So I'd start with, by the way, sorry, Iftikhar, you've already given your inputs, right? Iftikhar and Ambrish on the previous points.
yes,
Okay.
we have.
So,
Yeah, thanks.
sure. I would go with Ambrish first.
Sure. So it's all that Sunil was also talking about. Uh, uh, it's all dependent on where are you today, and what is your business objective, what kind of threat. Like suppose talk about my previous company was Flipkart. So what kind of business are you in? What kind of threat? What kind of threat you are expecting? Because whether you are an internet company or you are a traditional company, where because your infra is different, your exposure factor is different. Okay, and you have certain things you have limited budget to spend on. Okay, and now since you are if you are again if you already have a suppose you already have a SOC, correct? Probably you cannot do away with everything in overnight. You need to think over what is the journey looks like in next 2 years, 3 years, and how the XDR, particularly suppose you have EDR, now you're going some thinking about ahead. Suppose that you're thinking ahead what I should do next. Now you are struggling as a traditional stock, you want to do automate certain things. Okay, like suppose you get traffic from the blacklisted IP, you want to automatically deny the traffic. So where the automation comes into play, correct? Now here is the technology which can do these things. What SOAR was doing for a particular one place, it can do multiple places. But there is a cost benefit analysis has to be done, and as Sunil was rightly saying, what is the business outcome you are looking at? Okay, and if you are on a journey where you want to go for advanced threat mitigations and you have to automate a lot of things, because you want to do this kind of business where even if downtime of maybe a few minutes, a few seconds can tarnish the image of the company, and it's going to impact the entire business for uh, very heavily, then probably you can look at those advanced threat mitigation technologies. But if you are in not in that threat exposure, like internet companies have, you talk about today's world companies, USA, in today's world companies, Flipkart, Amazon, Swiggy, Zomato, Paytm, etc., they are on internet, correct? So probably they are looking at, because they've got a bunch of program, they are always evolving, like because they are constantly getting they are into the eyes of the hacker, because there is a meaty juice, because they are into their bug bounty program, etc. They know if they are able to get something, they will be paid heavily, etc. They can probably they have the edge over. So it's all depend upon where are you in the game, where are you in the cybersecurity journey, where are you into the cybersecurity maturity landscape. You can take any framework, you map yourself with any framework, you will be there at certain stage. It's all, the decision has to be taken holistically, rather than thinking about now my peer had taken XDR, I should also go for the XDR. As if they are also talking about, and suddenly also talking about, technology will keep evolving, but we need to look at whether your people process technology are robust enough to embrace the new technology, to get the maximum benefit out of what you have. That's what we say. Optimal utilization of current investment. That is more important, and that is where the business is going to ask questions. Because a lot of places
Yeah.
we say I cannot show the ROI in cybersecurity. That is absolutely correct. But once you say, okay, now I have EDR and I want XDR, they are going to ask questions: why XDR? Why? What happened to EDR, etc. Because they don't understand that language. Correct? Yeah, that is my initial thoughts. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Points well taken. So, would you like to comment on it, Iftikhar?
Sure. So, I'll probably just build up on, what Amrish said, that you definitely should have a vision of XDR, which means that at some point in few months or few years, you should have, acquired enough capabilities to have an end-to-end view of your digital estate to see if something is happening in one part of your digital estate is not linked with anything else, so that you can prioritize it better. Apparently, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to reach there on day one. It's this, sometimes it's a multi-year journey. However, you should always make sure that whatever that you're investing now should complement that vision instead of making it a third wheel. So if you are setting up yourself, like Amrish mentioned and Sanil mentioned, that what are your business objectives are, where you have less tolerance for attack or threats, which are your most prone workloads, which are more prone to attacks and so on. Start from there. It doesn't have to be EDR the first workload that you deploy. It doesn't have to be the email threat protection that has to be the first workload that you deploy. You can probably start from your web application filtering. Maybe you can always start from your cloud security first if you're heavily invested in cloud and you have absolutely nothing on premises. So depending upon where you are less tolerant, depending upon where your high threat vectors are, start from there. However, make sure that the solutions that you're acquiring and the capabilities that you're acquiring has extensibility. It should be able to integrate with other solutions and then provide you that end-to-end view someday. Maybe not today, maybe not next month, but at least someday. Eventually, we have seen that organizations, while they have this vision, they start acquiring capabilities which is an island by itself, and then the whole burden of doing that integration, writing correlation rules, and everything comes down to the SOC team itself, which is anyway struggling with the so many different alerts that they have to deal with on a daily basis, less talent in the market, and then everything comes down to what your team knows and how to do it. If they are not threat hunters by their training or the development that they have received or the talent that they already have from other organizations, then it will be a tedious task for you to achieve an XDR in a short span of time. So yeah, my thoughts are that have that vision, make sure that your existing acquisitions or existing investments are complementing that vision instead of taking you elsewhere.
Yes, very nicely put, really. Thank you very much, Iftikhar. So essentially, XDR basically provides a kind of integration and is a logical evolution of EDR, endpoint detection and response. And in XDR, I think the primary advantages are threefold. One is the better protection, detection, and response capabilities, and the second one are productivity. This is basically productivity of the operations workforce, okay, security personnel, and the third one is the lowering the total cost of ownership for effective detection and response of security threats and bring down the overall risks as a result. Okay, so that is XDR. And of course, on the natural way to what you would call as SOAR, then that would be yet another thing in which automation takes the primary importance. Okay, so that is another thing. And what we would now like is, Sanil, if you could comment on
Yeah.
the question. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the ultimate objective is, as I was saying, is key things which XDR would allow us to do, obviously, is, as I said, visibility. And, a lot of these endpoints, I mean, I was reading a report, right? There are millions of desktops and endpoints still on traditional antivirus, right? So they're not able to block known and unknown attacks, right? So I think that is greater visibility in EDR, but then it sort of exponentially increases to have larger visibility, right? So that's one. And also, while we consolidate endpoint, network, systems, applications, all of that, I think your incident response is faster, but then policy management and the productivity of your overall SOC will also increase, right? Because everything can be seen in one console and everything can be managed and prioritized, right? And scored very well, because then you can correlate things each other and your productivity overall will increase and your cost of ownership will also greatly improve. And then, uh, you know, what I also feel is that, you see organizational maturity, but then the kind of skill set that you have, and what Ambrish rightly said, I think one of the key issues, obviously, for all organization is ROI, right? I think that's That's one of the key things. So ultimately, as an organization, we should always aim for the best, but look at where we stand right now. What are the key objective? Which risk landscape you are in, and then try to achieve and try to balance all these arenas together. So these are my comments. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, yes, very good response actually. I hope everybody's taking note of these points, very valuable ones. So that will help you. So the next one, the question is that what are the common challenges in security operations, and how do you think EDR, XDR are panning out? How are they solving it? And how does EDR, XDR play an important role in the overall IR incident response process? And whether we still need once we have a CM, whether we still need an XDR. So three things: what are the common challenges in security operations, and EDR, XDR are playing a role in solving it, including the overall incident response. And of course, if one has a CM, why do I still need an XDR? So in this context, of course, it's a long journey in which, as I mentioned, the other end of the spectrum is SOAR, which is focusing on automation-driven solution, whereas XDR is about centralized analysis and a single UI for managing your detection and response strategy. Okay, so there is something like really cutting down the alert fatigue. That means actually filtering out so many of these uh, what you call alerts, in which we don't want too many false positives, and then it lower your MTTD. That means mean time to detection and mean time to response. So ensure that automation is central to the platform. That is the journey which will eventually lead to SOAR. But based on these three questions which I asked, I'd like to go with Ambarish first.
Yeah, sure. I think this is a very relevant question. Whenever anyone is thinking about XDR or this kind of new technologies, they are looking at what is the current problem I have. One is, you rightly said, traditional SOC has a problem of alert fatigue, because we always wanted a actionable alert, which is meaningful, and people take that is how the SIM solution are evolving and maturing over a period of time. Second thing was the manual. So it gives you alert and people have to initiate action, and there is a skills. Every SOC guy who's monitoring your alerts has different skill set, and it's all depend upon the human. Basically, you are dependent on a human. The third was the automation and integration. You take a lot of time to integrate certain technologies which you have in the organization into the SOC. You have to build a connector. A connector takes a lot of time. It is a costly affair. Fourth thing is, you say there are everything is something happening every day or something like that. You want to automate, where the SOAR came into play. So these all the 4 or 5 things the traditional SOC had a problem, and today also they are struggling. They are maturing, they are evolving, etc. These are the problems. Some of the problems, the majority of the problems got solved by the XDR. Okay, and even XDR is also maturing, and XDR is going to complement the SOC what you have. They're going to give them actionable. If something is there, they are early into the game, as I said before. They're going to enhance their efficiency overall, and probably you can look at, probably you can do cost benefit analysis. Like, you have, so today you have 6 guys in the SOC, maybe 8 guys in the SOC. If you get to the SDR, probably you need lesser guy, or do we need the same guys? So all these things, nuances you can work upon. It's all depend upon what kind of infra you have. Like I talked about your endpoints. Are you only on on-prem, or you are on cloud? You have IoT world, you have CIoT, IoT, etc. What kind of infra you have, and what kind of do you have a visibility of single pane of glass, what is happening in your infrastructure from security perspective? And if the SOC is giving that, do you have, what kind of automation you have? Do you need actually you need do you need that automation right away, or as Iftikhar were talking about, whatever investment you are doing today, long term look at automation. The automation is the only key where you will achieve the, you will closer to the game. Because see, we have to protect everything, and thereafter hacker has got trying to find a single vulnerability to exploit that game itself is not fair. So you're always running behind. You want to bridge that gap. So the bridging that gap is the only way. Automation is the only way. XDR is going to solve majority of those problems, but not all of the problems. Otherwise, XDR is also evolving. If we talk about a bunch of XDR technologies are there, they have got their own plus and minuses, etc. So in my view, in summary, we need to look at what you think today and what you think that after 2 years your security journey looks like, and start building those capabilities, skills, technical as a process capabilities, and then you will mature over a period of time. It's not the overnight you can switch, you can change the game. It will not happen. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Excellent comments and good insights. So I'd like to move to Iftikhar next.
So my views are, of course, we talked about alert fatigue, and trust me, no matter how large your SOC is, you will never be able to work on all the alerts that you're getting. It's like endless conveyor belt, right? You have to pick up your wars. If you start chasing every alert, this is pretty sure that you will miss out on the things that you really should have looked at, and looked at much earlier than what it had become later on. And that is where some of these tools like XDR helps you do. Now, I'll give you for an example. Maybe it will be easier to understand. Not everything that happens in your organization are malicious at first. Apparently, they all have tendency to become malicious at a later point of time. Now, let me take an example. Let's say you have a user who logs on from a brand new IP address, and one of your system gives you a alert that it's an impossible travel. Trust me, this is one of the most false positive alerts that you can get is impossible travel, because today is now everybody is working from home. I have multiple internet connection at home. I have a Geo which routes my traffic from Mumbai. I have a Airtel which routes my traffic to Noida. Trust me, I can simulate this impossible travel activity almost 100 times in a day. Are you going to chase me for that event? Trust me, you can't do it. There's no way on earth that you can chase this event. However, if you have a team of 50 people who is looking after all the alerts in your organization, trust me, you need more than them if you start chasing every impossible alert, impossible travel alert. Now, the right philosophy or strategy would be to see if this impossible travel alert is followed by something which is again malicious or anomalous. Like, for example, if it's a impossible travel alert and then there was a multiple failed logon by the same user in the span of 2 hours, and after that they got into, let's say, your email system, again multiple log failure of logon events, you can't go and start chasing everyone. Trust me, it's not possible. People tend to make mistakes one time, second time, third time, sometimes five times as well, and sixth time they remember their password and then they get in. Again, if you start chasing that alert itself, again, it's going to cause you a lot of time and energy, and you may not end up having the thing that you really wanted. Now, let's say the next stage, that happens, let's say, after 3 hours. After multiple failed logon attempt, user logs in, let's say, fifth time, and this time around, they make another change in the email system. Let's say either delete a lot of emails or forward a lot of emails to a different mailbox, or set up a mailbox forwarding rule that any new mail comes onto this mailbox automatically gets forwarded. Now, let's assume that all these three incidents happens over the period of 3 days. If you are running a SOC team which is looking at these alerts without knowing what has happened yesterday and what is actually happened tomorrow, you will never get to know that this is actually a multi-stage attacks, and you may end up losing this whole site. With XDR, you don't have to do that job. The first level of correlation will be done by the system itself, so that you can focus more on the triaging and remediations and planning the remediation, not doing just the correlations by itself. So you can bypass the entire SOC maturity of doing this, not having to do this first level of correlation, because that will be done by the system itself. So investing into XDR will basically elevates your SOC maturity to multi-fold steps with a solution like this. So now you know that instead of you running into three different alerts at three different time phases, you will focus on one incident which consists of these three alerts, and then allows you to triage them in a much faster, investigate them, which is the user, and then also automatically remediates that. So in my view, XDR basically elevates your SOC maturity multiple folds, because it completely eradicates the need of doing that first level of correlations, which has to be done by the humans, and you can totally rely on that. And this, carve out your work, carve out your war against all the things that you had to do, and go from there. I think that's the best strategy to adopt at this time.
Thank you so much for your comments. Can I move to Sanil?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first question that you pointed out was more to do what are the issues in the stock, right? I think alert fatigue is one, but then the talent deficit of talent is a huge issue, which is there, and therefore there's a need to automate and orchestrate it better, right, to get more visibility and spending less time on eye on the glass, but then having more people to really analyze and bring more value on the table, right? Because and that's how it is, and since for us, since I am very clearly outcome based, so we don't build huge teams, but rather leverage vendors, partners, and then have hybrid teams to scale and then look at it from a cost productivity standpoint as well, right? And if you look at I mean XDR as well, it typically would have its front end and back end, right? I mean, you can't have just XDR monitoring unless you have technologies which on the endpoint you need to have a EDR, you need to have DLPs, you need to have UE, CASBs, IAM, all of these tech integrated, right? Kind of on the front end, and on the back end, you should really have a power, right? An orchestration store, which will be completely automated, well orchestrated, good response and process flow, should be well integrated with cloud and app, and then a brilliant intelligence as well, so that you can add more value on the table, right? So that's kind of a mixture. I mean, XDR is a term, but I think it's kind of a mixture of a lot of technologies coming together, right? You need to have a brilliant tech analytical engine also to give you more valuable data. So definitely it will help. It's largely a combination of large technologies, different products working together. And XDR would then, as I said again, it's more of a term definition, but then it will definitely add value, large term for the CISOs as well, because finally every dollar matters, right, for the organization. So how to add value for each dollar, I think that's what is very important. Yeah.
Yes, thank you all for your comments. And I know before I move into the Q&A, because we are only a few minutes away from closure, and I'd just like to comment that in October 2021, at a leading event, okay, in cybersecurity, 5 major players in the European cyber ecosystem, Sequoia, Harfang Lab, Pradeo, and Glimpse, announced the creation of an open XDR platform. Okay, the aim is to federate cybersecurity expertise within a unified solution and to streamline deployment and strengthen the organization's cyber defense. So basically, this addresses some of the issues of what were all mentioned here, like, and it's called Open XDR. So the today's challenges of security operations are there are too many tools. That means too many siloed tools, too many isolated events, blind spots, uncoordinated teams, complex to operate. And second point is not enough people, repetitive, mundane, manual tasks, inefficient, overworked, and really dispirited teams. And the third one is not right data. That is, there's too much data or too little data, or too costly, or coverage spans, inaccurate results, and all. And of course, the other thing is there is slow detection and response to attacks. It takes too long attack dwell time, and big damages. So it aims to focus on all of these and do that. So of course, this and some of the other stuff, people can go and look it up because it's a platform with some European ambitions and all that. Okay, so yes, would anyone like to comment on that before I move to Q&A? Okay.
It was a good initiative. I think we'll leverage this. We'll see.
Yes. Yeah. Just one could do probably some of the things that they're putting their heads trying to solve this complex problem. So let me see what questions we have. So some of the questions here. How would this process change for an? I'm only selecting a few in the interest of time. How would the process change for an OT environment that requires performance assurance? Any changes needed, or make any tools make any tools less intrusive? Okay. So about the OT, as in IoT environment.
I don't
Anyone
think
has any comments?
Yeah, so I don't think that if you adopt XDR or something like that, the process is going to change, because everything going to be integrated with the backend systems, and you keep doing what you have been doing so far. And thereafter, probably this is going to look at the various logs getting generated from the backend, and it is going to correlate and taking those actions. You take if it is XDR, it will take automatically detect, respond. It will do. If you have the traditional SOC, it will just correlate, and there is somebody who is going to initiate that action.
All right, all right. Okay. So yeah, that's a very good answer. Would anyone else like to comment before we close?
So I like to say, yeah, like I said, strategy doesn't change. Of course, you need, more precise visibility on the OT environments. What are some of your appliances and machineries are doing, and if there are any anomalies there, rogue devices there, and having a context, because what's happening on the OT environment is not independent of what may be happening in your IT environment. Having to correlate with what's happening in IT with OT will probably give you a better picture, because most of the OT attacks that we have seen starts from IT environments first, and then they laterally make move to the OT devices and OT appliances. So having to look at OT in a completely disjoint way may not be the best strategy. So bring them as part of your detection into your large context of XDR, and then and take a look at end to end and see if there are any threats which are moving or which are originating from IT and moving towards OT, and or vice versa. So that would be the right strategy, I guess.
Sure, sure, sure. So I guess this brings us to the close of this session. And thank you, everyone. It was a very nice session. Okay, thanks a lot, Iftikhar and Sanil and
Thank
Ambrish.
you.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thanks, everyone.